Yeah.
They were talking to him, and then just like talking.
Yeah, well, Johnny.
But like Dally, he just missed Johnny. I mean, it was sad, but the fact that Johnny's last words to Tony were for him to say, well, that's sad.
Matthew.
I really think Dallas was sadder because, like, he stole himself because Johnny wasn't really alive. Because he was like,
But
no, I thought he was.
I think that Dallas was kind of like more sad because like he didn't have like any family whatsoever, and he would have just put in like the newspaper or anything for him being like a hero. He was just a delinquent or juvenile delinquent.
was what you know of Dally, was he just a juvenile delinquent?
He was
No.
Like what
He
you
loved
learn
Johnny.
about him through the book?
He wasn't really positive.
That he really cared for someone, right?
Yeah.
That's all that
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen here. So, that says, Dally runs out like the devil was after him when he finds out Johnny is dead. According to Tony, why is Dally having so much trouble handling Johnny's death? Brayden?
Because Johnny was the only person that Allie cared about.
the only person.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they truly had a connection, right?
Not really.
It wasn't just one way where Dally cared about Johnny,
Johnny was.
but Johnny also cared about Dally, right? He lived for his approval, right? He wanted him to approve her. When Dally's on the phone, what is his message? What's he say?
I just robbed a grocery store and I'm heading down to you guys like soon, like right now.
Yeah, it says what, the cops are after him,
Yeah.
right?
Because like it's probably like the closest thing to him.
Still, banks get you a lot more money.
Yeah,
Who cares? He's gonna kill
well,
himself anyway.
you two listen.
Still more money.
So what about it talks about, do you think that Johnny's death was gallant or Dally's death?
I think Dally, because he was like so heartbroken by that.
Because he was heartbroken?
Yeah.
In chapter 5, I think, what did Johnny say? How did he describe Dally as being gallant? Do you remember what he said, what he did? He was real, that's it, but what was the scenario? Right, he covered for Two-Bit, remember he went ahead, even though Two-Bit had thrown the rocks at the school, Dally was like, they were getting Dally for it, so he's like, whatever, like he didn't rat him out, right, didn't tell on him. Well, why do you think that his death was gallant, Dally's?
But he went out,
Because he went out shooting he missed his friend. He died for a friend.
Yeah, it's kind of like grief-stricken, right?
he went out in a one-way gunfight.
And a one-way go. Well, on that page, on page 154, it says, then he slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph. What's that mean? Grim triumph.
Like the person being crowned there.
But aren't those like oxymorons?
I think it's grim though.
Like grim is one thing, but triumph is another? Yeah, I think that's, I don't know why that stood out to me, that even though it's so sad, he kind of found, right, like a peace with it. Why did Pony Boy become sick? What were his symptoms? What happened?
Mild concussion.
How did he get it?
The surgeon kicked him on the head.
Kicked him in the head?
Keep him on the head.
Yeah, that'd be rough. Why is Pony Boy worried about whether or not he asked for dairy in the hospital? Right.
So that way, he doesn't make it look like he doesn't love dairy.
Right, he's kind of worried about it. Is that what you're gonna say? Something similar?
Like he was bugged about it.
Right, it's like he's afraid, you know, like he said in this chapter, why did I ask for soda? Why can I just not talk to dairy? But he, you know, I think maybe in his subconscious mind, he's just afraid. He didn't ask for me, but he don't want to hurt his feelings. Alright, so we will have a quiz over chapters 9 and 10 tomorrow, but don't stress about it. We'll review it. And then we're going to continue theme today. So someone tell me what theme is.
The moral of the story.
The moral, right, moral of the story, a meaning. Again, is theme one word?
No.
No, it's at least a sentence, right? Does it include the characters' names, or book names?
No.
No. It's like the big picture, right? Okay, I'm gonna hand you, you may work with a partner, but if you want to. I'm gonna hand you these, but we'll do the first couple together. So you can, I'll hand you these, you can get with your partner, and then I'll have someone read this. The first one's probably the most difficult, deep thinking one, but it's from chapters 1 through 10. It's a small excerpt from each chapter. And then we will pick out what we think the theme is. Does everyone's theme have to be the same? Thank you. No, it does not. Correct. So once you get your papers, if you want to partner up, you can. Yes,
Did you know that Pony Boy doesn't like bologna?
I learned that.
What?
But it seemed like he ate it, even though he didn't like it in chapter 4, right?
What else are you supposed to eat?
Why is bologna so, like, spelled weird?
I just said that to Miss Pearl. I know.
But why is it spelled bologna?
I know. It's not in the book. It's spelled different in the book.
It's spelled bologna.
In our life, we spell it. How's the song go? Yes.
You have to play the song though.
We'll play the song shortly. All right, you can get with your group or your partner.
Both of you then.
Yeah, come on. Here, I'll grab one.
Yes, triumvirate. Get over here. Yeah.
See, I used to call bologna
You should show this. All right, someone read to me what number 1 says. What it says for chapter 1. Who wants to read it? Matthew.
I had to read Great Expectations for English, and that kid, he reminded me of us. The way he felt Mark lousy because he wasn't a gentleman or anything, and the way that girl kept looking down on him. 15.
Right. So it's on page 15 in your book. But so that's in that little excerpt. That's what you want to try to find the theme of. So what do you think that means?
Wait, like the theme?
Yeah.
I think it's, you can relate to people in stories that have gone through what you've gone through.
In stories now, remember the theme is like a real world view, so we're not actually referring to the book or to the story. Yeah.
Other people can go through the same thing as you.
Other people can go through the same things as you. Well, it says the way he felt Mark's lousy because he wasn't a gentleman or anything, and the way the girl kept looking down on him. Josh?
Something about empathy.
About empathy? What about empathy? Joel?
It's not about empathy, but being short is really annoying because everybody looks down on you.
I don't know if it's actually about him being short.
Actually, I don't know.
The big picture.
Amelia.
Hold on, listen here.
It's about how you should encourage someone to how they look.
Right. She said, don't judge someone by how they look. Do you agree with that? Because he's saying he was marked lousy because he wasn't a gentleman or anything, and she kept looking down on him. Do y'all agree with that?
So basically, don't really go right
Could be, yeah. What I put, how I read that, my theme is how people treat you says nothing about you, but everything about them. So, huh? And I said that because the way the girl looks down on him made him feel lousy. But really, when you're judging other people, right through the whole book, I know we're not talking about, but they were judged just because they were greasers, right? Because they were poor, because they dressed different. Because essentially, who is he really talking about when he made this reference to the Great Expectations book? Who was Ponyboy talking about in the book? No, in the book, not Pip is from Great Expectations. But when he read that story, it was after he met
Or Silver? Silver?
Cherry.
There we go.
I got it, I'm smart.
Good work. So we'll have a little time to work on it tomorrow in class 2, but this will be your first grade for 4th quarter, okay? So, and then where it says explanation, just like what we've been doing, it needs to come from the text, right? Where you got it from the text. Perfect.